What up, y'all? I'm Baker. This is Uphill Radio. We got a brand new interview with an artist that we pretty familiar with, but this is our very first time having him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Stranger.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Man, of course. Bro, when it comes to your artistry, dude, you're before I give my take, how would you describe yourself to someone who doesn't know you?
Artistically, I would describe myself, I guess, like, I'd say, like, I make, like, alternative music. Like, I make alternative music. And I've, fucked around a little bit with, like, just playing around with the like hip hop and trap sounds and stuff, but like having that guitar, like guitar is like my main thing. That's my main instrument, and I play it. I'm not out here using samples. I just come up with my own shit. But yeah, I'm inspired by so many things. It's hard to like really point a finger or just like check off one box because I'm just influenced and inspired by so many different things.
Mm.
But if I'm gonna like put it all the way down, yeah, it's not dumb. If I'm gonna if I'm gonna put it all the way down, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, just alternative, like indie or something, I guess.
So, I would love to hear the story about the thumb soon. If you'd like to
Oh
give
yeah,
story time on that.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can tell that.
So when I think of you, stranger, so some people know this about me. Like some of my pieces of music that I highly enjoy, that I'm a big fan of, are soundtracks. There's something that a good soundtrack captures that a lot of albums miss. And just to name two, now I'll name three albums. I mean, not albums, three soundtracks that I love. One is the Scott Pilgrim versus the World soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
Love that soundtrack. It's badass. I love it. Everything about it.
yeah, man.
Number two, Beauty and the Beast, the animated series. That I just love that soundtrack. The way Disney does its music, especially back then, simply brilliant. And the third was the Twilight Saga with Edward and Bella, the vampires.
Yeah, brilliant.
And
It's really good.
love it. Even New Moon, that soundtrack was good as well. Great soundtrack. Keep saying album. Great soundtrack. And when I hear your when I hear your music, I was actually looking back on your SoundCloud, and you have a good amount of albums that I would love to take a dive into. I haven't like one of your earliest tapes is 5 years ago, and unfortunately, I didn't have the time to look back on that and listen to it and see your progress as an artist.
Yeah.
But I will. I will make time for that soon. But when I hear your music, man, it literally feels like you're really just this. Like you're part of nature. You're part of the wilderness. Like you're part of the wind. Like the colors of the wind taught by Pocahontas. I don't. Certain people know that. But if you were like popping during the times of when Twilight first arrived, bro, you would have been on that soundtrack. You would have had a hit on there. Like I was listening to your drop you just released, and we'll talk about that album in a bit as well. But you just capture and you hone in that essence of like Mother Nature. That's what I think of your craft.
Damn. I've never heard that before, so that shit sick. I
Yeah,
appreciate it,
man.
bro.
Of
I mean, I
course, of
do love Mother
course.
Nature, man. I spend a lot of time in it. I try to spend more time in it, or I should spend more time in it. It's good to be one with the nature. And I'm glad that the music that you heard portrayed that.
Yes, behind the scenes, you and I've had conversations, and you did bring up a point that music is subjective. Everyone will hear a song but hear it differently. They'll interpret it differently.
Oh,
Even
100%.
when even when the artist has a main goal sometimes on a record, doesn't matter. The fans will find a way to make it work according to their existence. But
Yeah.
when it comes when it comes to you though, stranger, like kind of lock us in with the mindset on how you make a record as of lately.
So what I typically do is I'll have an idea and then I'll try to, I don't know, I try to write towards that idea or a goal, but typically it just doesn't work that way because it's not something that you force. You just can't like, I don't know, a lot of my writing is like right place, right time. It's like if I go like a long time, I try not to go too long without like sitting down and creating, but you know, I guess in between songs, I can go, stuff just like builds up inside, and then I guess then I get it out, and yeah, yeah, I try to just, it's not something that you can force, it's
Hmm.
not like, even if I have an idea, it's just trying to be like, you know, honest with yourself, I guess, and just like, hey, how do I feel today? Or, I don't know. I could write like 100 songs and they could all be shit, and then I could write one. I'm like, oh, like this one feels good. This one's honest. This one's like, but I don't have any control of that. I don't have any control if it's good or not. It's right place, right time. And
Hmm.
that's with an album. An album is just where I'm at. You know, the album I just put out, it's nothing more than just where I am as of today, as of right now. And the albums I put out before are nothing more than where I was when I made those. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like there's not any like crazy like concept behind it or anything. But for this album in particular, I did see through. I wanted to make songs that were more like paid homage to like older records that I grew up on, like uh, just like '90s stuff, like rock stuff, like using live drums and just like bass guitar and just instruments, just using instruments instead of like using drum samples and stuff like that in the DAW. I wanted to like kind of bring a live sound to it, like a band, like if I had a band,
Hmm.
because that's music I've always loved and I've always connected to the most. So that's kind of the goal that I had with this most recent record, but that hasn't been the case before. But yeah, for this one, yeah, that was the case.
Man, that's dope. So you're pretty much saying with each album, each release, it's a time period, a time stamp on your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no different than when you go back and you listen to, like, you probably have this as well. You have songs that you listen to, and when you go back and listen to them, it takes you back to when you first heard them and where you were emotionally. And that's no
Yep.
different than making songs and making albums for me. Like, I can go back and I can listen to the things that I've done in the past,
Hmm.
and it takes me back to where I was, what I was doing, the people I was with, just like all the senses will come back, and that's, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better since then, but I just keep all my old music available just for that sake, just for the I don't know, the nostalgic part, I guess.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. I love the. It's like a music journal, a
Yeah,
public music journal.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
with you really putting a stamp on where you're at in life with your music. We hear it all the time. Music is very therapeutic. But how much of your life, of your soul, are you putting into it where you're being vulnerable and how much of it is more of an art.
Yeah, that's all it is. I'm being so vulnerable, and it's actually like kind of scary because like when people like hear my stuff, it's not like I'm trying to pretend or like I'm trying to be anything. It's just like this is genuinely like how I feel, and it can be kind of scary, and that's actually part of the reason that because originally I was going by my name and I changed it to Stranger just so I could have a little bit of like cushion to hide behind because I feel like my music is just really personal. But all my favorite music ever has just been that way. It's been stuff that just gets straight to it. Like cut all the bullshit out. Just stuff that I relate to because I'm an emotional guy. So I just have always connected to stuff that's you know more in tune with that side of life, like just
Mhm.
human, just humanity, like being open and vulnerable. Like that's something I connect with and I relate to, and that those types of songs and records growing up, that's what got me through hard times. And so yeah, that's music at the end of the day is just like when you're as an artist, you want to make stuff that you would be a fan of essentially, or that's the goal. I mean, it's not something you can always accomplish, but that is the goal. And that's like kind of what I set out in hopes of is that like I can create a space for people to listen and feel that same way that I felt about these records that I grew up with and that brought me comfort and solace when I was going through like chaotic times mentally and spiritually and going through heartbreak and stuff like that. Like I hope to offer that same feeling.
Yeah, listening to your records definitely definitely create a new atmosphere, your own very own energy that we get to listen to, and music. You brought up how music is nostalgia. You can hear a record and it'll take you back to a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm not sure if you're familiar with a band named Viet Cong. There's this that band Viet Cong, and I cannot listen to their records anymore because it's not that they're terrible. They're very talented,
You
but it's
said it's
because
Viet Cong? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah,
Viet Cong.
Viet Cong. Yeah, I mean, I do
Let me
recommend
write
it.
it down.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
always
man, they
looking
got
for
some.
new stuff to listen to, bro.
So it's Viet Viet and then Cong Kong.
Cong. Okay, I got it.
I do I do believe you will like it. I would like to hear your take on what you think of them. But
Dude, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll listen to him and I will let you know.
yes, please, dude, that'd be badass. But the thing with them is they took care of me during a very difficult time in my life. It was such
Mm.
a dark time where I didn't have a home. I had to live in a motel, and there's just trouble everywhere. Everywhere I went, there was trouble. But I was thankfully God had protected me. But there was always trouble around me. But listening to Viet Cong heavy really helped me with, keeping it together. And once I got over that hump, and my life started to get better for myself, I couldn't go back to those records because I just felt that pain and that nostalgia, that memory was just, I didn't want to go back to it ever. It just didn't make sense. And to this day, I just can't listen to those songs. And do you feel like, and you could talk about it too with other artists, but with yourself, is there certain times you have songs that you create that were too dark, that were too heartbroken, that you can't go back to and listen to, and perhaps might have gotten rid of the record entirely?
No, actually, I don't feel that way, and I don't feel that way because it's just it's just how I felt at the time, and that's not forever. Like I can go back and I can listen to things, and honestly, a lot of times I'll go back and I'll be like, damn, like I really thought I've had shit figured out, and look where I am now. Still don't have it figured out, but like it's just cool to like to just it's just cool to go back and just look at because it's my old work, you know. But no, it doesn't bring me like any bad feelings, you know, because it has its space and it's also even if it's cathartic, you know, and I got like some shit off my chest and it was a rough time, there's beauty in that, you know. It's just like that's life, bro. Like you got to go through the shit to get to the good, and then you get to the good, and then the shit comes back. You know, it's just hills, bro, uphill, bro. It's all like, it's all that,
Yeah,
bro. And
yeah,
I'm here to embrace every single bit of it. You know, I don't want to sometimes, and I'm sure you know you probably have felt the same, but
yeah.
I'm I'm here, bro. So, you know,
That part. Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, can I let me ask you something? When
Yes.
you What was it about those songs and those records that brought you comfort? Like, what specific, was there something specific? Was it just that music was like there at the time, you know, and it was just coincidental? Or like, was there
Hmm.
something specific about it?
Damn, bro, that's a great question. Man, I never even pondered that question or that thought ever. Looking back on it, putting myself back in that position and listening to the records, I feel like I've always searched for music, right? My whole life I always searched for music, and I felt like there's a divine energy that directs me to certain bands or artists, and it just clicks, it makes sense. So in a way it is coincidental,
Yes.
where it just fell into my lap and it made sense. And sometimes when something makes sense, you don't need to find any more answers other than that. And so
Yep.
just to I could to if I could give a little bit more detail though on just how I felt with listening to the music, like the way they did the guitar riffs or the drum pattern or the way they use their vocals, it just made me feel better listening to it. It was a way for me to harness the anger that I felt or the pain and depression I felt at that time, and listen to it and then release that specifically with that band. So if for whatever reason Viet Cong listens to this, like, thank you for creating some badass records, and I definitely recommend the audience to listen to it. When you have time, definitely check it out. But
For sure. I definitely
they're
will.
badass. Yeah, but great
Dude,
question though, bro.
yeah, bro. Dude, yeah, there's something otherworldly about music, you know? There's like a, you know, something spiritual about it, just the way that it can come into your life when you're not all you because you know I'm the same way. I'm always looking for new music, but sometimes stuff just like falls in your lap, you know, at the
Yeah,
right time, and you know,
yeah,
it just
yes,
it can sometimes a song will come on and it just says your like every single thought, you know, and you're like, damn, like fuck, I'm not by myself in this.
for real. Yes, 100%. I do truly believe things are dimensional, and we live in our own video game, our own movie, and sometimes when you because sometimes you'll get a calling. I feel like a lot of people get a calling, but they choose to ignore it. And when you ignore it, you kind of miss the music that's supposed to play at this certain part of your life, or whatever. Meet this friend or whatever it is. Like you miss an opportunity for growth, or just something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
You did bring up how with your sounds you choose the organic route. With live drums, and you said you play the guitar.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
is that how you make a record? Like, talk us through the process of that.
Like all my records are just like the
Yeah,
most recent.
because you don't do you purchase beats, or do you make them all yourself?
No, yeah, I don't purchase beats. I produce. So yeah, so in the past, you know, with previous work that I've done, I'll just make beats, you know, I'll sample the guitar and then I would add just some like drum shit, you know, just like drum samples, you know, that I
Damn,
find on like Reddit or something, you know. And then
fuck.
I did, yeah, and then just yeah, just make just beats, you know, making beats, but with this recent release, See Through, it was a different process. I was um, structuring songs. I was like, trying to play around with like verses and choruses and stuff like that, which isn't anything I ever really gave thought of.
Mm.
But just, with the past, I mean, that probably took like 8 or 9 months to kind of put together. That's just the route that I wanted to take this time, because I just felt like I've already kind of exhausted just beats, like making beats. I mean, and it's fun. I'm not saying I won't ever do it again or anything like that, because I do enjoy it, and that's how I started making music. That's how I even got into making music, was producing. That's all I was doing at first. But yeah, with just like the most recent record, yeah, I would just sit down with guitar and write the song on guitar, and then I would just record it, and then I would add all the extra shit on top of it, throw in drums if need be, or like, just whatever to make it sound a little cooler, I guess. Try to make it sound cool, than rather just guitar and a vocal.
You started off with producing. Like, how
Yes,
old were you? What sparked that?
I was 16 when I started producing, and yeah, it was like I had just got into like underground, like hip hop, like underground music, like Night Lavelle at the time, and Bones. Bones is like a huge, huge influence and inspiration of mine. And then kind of like after that, I got into like music like Lil Peep and like uh, just like all like the Sesh Hollow Water Boys, like Chris
Mm.
Travis, Xavier Wolf. Um, what else was that? Suicide Boys, shit like that. Just that's what was fucking popping at the time. So that's what I was listening to. And that's what my friends were listening to. And, we were smoking weed and we thought that shit was the coolest shit ever. And it still is, dude. That shit has like literally, it's changed. So like, dude, it's great. But yeah, so yeah, I got into all that. And then I was like, damn, well, I kind of like want to be a part of this somehow, but how can I do that? Because I can't rap. That's corny as shit. Like I don't have that kind of like gusto about myself where I can feel confident enough to rap. But I did try to rap, and my friends just never had the heart to tell me that it was fucking shit. But I knew deep down, I knew deep down that it wasn't for me. But yeah, then so I got into like Lil Peep and stuff like that, and then after he passed, it was kind of like it was a push, that I should do this, and so I started. I was like, I've always liked singing. It's always been something I've done, just in the shower and by myself. But I was like, what would happen if? Because I'm making all these beats, I'm like, what would happen? I always thought of shit too. I'm like, I would think of vocal shit all the time, making beats, but I just never had the confidence to do it. And then I was just like, fuck it, dude. Like, world can stop turning tomorrow, so fucking just
Yeah.
gotta do that shit. And yeah, so yeah, I made just beats for about 2 years from 16 to 18, and then when I was 18, then I started to record vocals. And yeah, dude, I started out with like just a shitty, I don't even remember the brand of microphone, but I bought it off Amazon. It was like a $30 like real shit mic. It just had so much like background noise and stuff. Like, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
just it was just I was beginning and I was like experimenting, and I had a lot of alone time. I'm a kind of a lone guy, a loner guy, so I just spent a lot of time alone. And I mean, shit, what better way to be alone than just like fucking make
Hmm.
music? You can make whatever you want. It's your entire world, dude. You could do whatever you want. So yeah, hope that answers that question.
Oh yeah, man. That's it's so crazy because yes, listening to your latest drop, I got to listen to it a few times, and to learn that this is you making the instrumentals, the beats, playing the instruments. One, badass job, man. Good. GG's on that. Fantastic. Very
Thank
talented.
you.
Um,
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
yes, bro, of course. And number two, you have such a great, unique voice. It does have this essence to it that's kind of, it's beautiful and eerie at the same time, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like, why can't no one, what do you say, nobody hear me? You say something like that, huh? You just, the way you, like, you use your vocals. To me, it is the wind in the forest, in the woods. It's like the light that the moon gives. It's when the trees kind of move the little feathers, not leaves, the feathers of it. That's
Okay.
you. That's stranger. That's what I get out of your voice when you sing. Like you said that you always like to sing, and you locked in at 18. But did you ever know how talented you actually are?
No, and I I had a conversation with a friend about this actually, like talent, because I don't necessarily like believe in it. Like in a sense that like, I've been making music since I was 16 and I'm 25 years old now. So I've been making music for damn near that's almost 10 years. Wait, shit, I can't count right now. 16.
That's
Yeah, that's almost 10.
yeah, nine
Yeah, that's
years.
almost 10 years. So 9 years.
Yeah.
So I've been
Yeah.
making music a long time. And if you go back, it sounds like shit. But it's just where I was at the time because I was learning. And it's
Yeah.
still, just now, it just sounds less like shit, but it's still not that good. But we're getting there. That's the whole point of this. We're getting to it. But not disregarding your compliment, I do appreciate it. I really do, but I still think there's work to be done, and I'm nowhere near the finish line. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to go back to the question, I've just been working on music for such a long time and approaching it in such different ways, and also being influenced and inspired by so many different things through so many periods of my life because I've been making it for so long that when I first started singing, like I had become more conscious of like how I create as I've gotten older. So like when I
Okay.
first started making music, I mean, I would sing, but I would barely open my mouth. And
Hmm.
so I realized, if I open my mouth and I use my chest a little more, I can like
Yeah.
project it, and like it just taps into a different emotion rather than just kind of using like a head voice or anything. But I mean, I've never had like vocal lessons or anything like that, and I'm not a professional singer or fucking anything like that. Like, I'm just like, you know, just fucking around in my bedroom on on shit. I don't really know like what is good and what isn't, like, or what's right. I would say I don't know what's right or what's wrong. I just like will play around and then I'll find something, or something comes to me rather. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of going off way off your fucking original question. My bad, bro.
No, no,
But
that's
yeah,
actually
like,
perfect.
yeah, I just, I don't think I'm talented or anything like that. I just think like I've been putting in the hours. That's
Mm.
my answer.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
There's that cliche saying that goes hard work over talent.
Yeah. No, and it's a cliche for a reason because that shit's true. Like
Yeah.
100%. Like hard work
Yeah.
all day. Like talent is more so like, you know, I feel like people would be like, oh, well, like, this is like, you'll see like peers, doing something and they do it really well. And you're like, oh, well, that's talent. Like, oh, I wish I could be like that because, they're so talented. But
Mm.
you just see the product. You don't see the process behind that product, you know? So it's not
Right.
necessarily that they're talented. They just work their fucking ass off. And then now you see the end product and it's like, damn, that shit's like, fuck, I got to step up my game, type thing.
Motivational right there. Yeah, that's real talk, bro. I That's real talk. I do believe that. But do you believe that there is certain people in this world and even in the past that are just born with luck? Comes easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, because this is also like something I was discussing with my friend just the other day. Like, athletes. There's people that are just 6'3" and they're just genetically
Yeah.
like built like tanks. So obviously they're gonna be they're gonna have an easier time,
Yeah.
playing football or basketball than someone that's like 5'9" like me and not huge as fuck. So it's like, yeah, so there's that, so there's a gift that way. There's, I guess, talent that way. I mean, they still got to put in work to be
Right.
great, but like
Yeah.
they do have a better advantage straight out the gate because of their genetics. But that's like
Yeah.
sports, I don't know if that like applies to the music world. I can only speak from experience and stuff, and yeah, just yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of going left field for a second. It's true, bro. Those basketball players are hella tall. I seen
Yeah,
photos of like regular like celebrities standing next to these basketball players, NBA basketball players, and I'm like, those are freaking trees, bro.
bro, seriously. You're like, what the fuck? How did I not get that tall? I
Yo,
didn't
but
I didn't drink
it's
my milk or something. Like, dude.
yeah, yeah. I think one of the tallest was the, I think he was the Asian guy. He was like 7'2". I don't remember his name, but he was like 7'2". 7 foot is crazy, bro.
That's in the NBA or that's the world record?
NBA.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's
Yeah, he's one of the. I mean, I guess it is a record too as well. He's just one of the tallest in NBA as of recently. I
okay.
don't remember his name, but he's Asian and he was like 7'2". I mean, for everyone watching, don't quote me, Google it, but that's what I think.
Yeah, dude,
But
that's tall shit.
so tall, bro. Yeah, that's hella tall. Cause I'm 5'6". I'm I'm below because the regular height in the United States, the average height, not regular height, average height is 5'8",
Yes.
and in Asia it's 5'6", and but in Africa it's like 5'11" to 6 foot. It's
Yeah.
like completely different. Yeah,
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 dude.
completely interesting. I love stuff like that. But when it comes to being an artist, I think what I admire about an artist is that they think outside the box, outside of the norm and traditions. And, you brought up a good point on how like you really have the world in your hands, in your palms, and you can really do anything you really want and put your mind to. You really tapping in with music at age 16 and locking in, singing at 18. Like, is this one of your true passions to come true? Like just being a, and what I mean by success is, having your fan base and getting income from it. Is this something that you truly want, being a known singer or a known artist, or is there something else that we don't know?
No, 100%. Music is my life. I have always, dreamed of like reaching the highest of the highs, like, but the reason behind that, has always changed. I don't know, it's a struggle, like it is a struggle. You know, like being artistic, it's like it does you got to keep your ego in check,
Hmm.
and it's a constant struggle that I have because I'm like, just creating for the right reasons. If you're creating and if you're creating to fulfill yourself, you're creating to get things off of your own heart and your own mind, the things that you think about, not necessarily like even caring about the audience, that's the right reasons, you should create. You should just be infatuated with ideas. You should be infatuated with the creativity, the process of it all. I mean, it's not pretty all the time. It could be really, really hard, and some days you can really hate it actually, but you know, it's a commitment at the end of the day, so you have to, you just, you can't give up, you know, you just, I you know, I've done a lot of shit. I mean, obviously, I don't do music full time. You know, I'm not making really fucking anything off music, to be honest. I make like a little bit, but just not like enough to live off of. That's the goal, that's the dream. But, you know, I'm not gonna like quit making music because it hasn't fucking happened yet or anything like that. You know, I'm still working a 9 to 5, you know, grinding my ass off and making music when I have the time. But you know, and sometimes I have gotten down about that. You know, I've been down about it, but at the same time it's like it's good, you know. It's like what you're saying, like what do you view as success? Do you view success as like this huge thing where you know you're like inspiring a bunch of people and like you're doing all these great things and you're looked at, oh, everyone thinks I'm great, you know? Or is success just like getting through the day. Like success is like, I mean, shit. I made this song and I fucking like, dude, I fucking did it. I did it again. Like proving myself wrong, being like, oh, like, because there's been so many times, dude, where I got so down on myself and thought I would just never be able to like make anything again, or just like, I mean, I've thought about giving up probably 1 million times, and I'll probably think about it another million, dude. Like, but yeah, it's just like what is success, you know? What is that? You know, I but so I would like to believe that it's just I'm just trying,
Man,
and that's good enough.
that's deep, bro. With you when you said success can be just getting through the day, like damn, bro, that's for real right there.
Yeah, man, because and who's not to say if I had gotten all those things, I get all the status, I get these people, who's to say that
Hmm.
would make me happy?
Yeah.
It probably
Yep.
wouldn't. I would probably,
Yup.
a human condition, I'm probably going to find another reason to not be happy because my mind is mean to me.
The human condition, bro. You said that perfect.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating is humans, we don't like to look at solutions. And what I mean by that is like we have all of history to tell us how we operate. We know the patterns that humans act on. We know that we're not perfect. We know all of these things, but we don't harness it. We don't take advantage of that. Why do you think that is?
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Man, I think it's because ignorance is bliss, dude. I mean, it's so much
Mm-hmm.
easier to live life when you don't have to put any work in. It's so much easier when you can just like not acknowledge that, you know, you might be a shit human and like, yeah, you're a shit human and you need to not be a piece of shit. It's like really hard. It's really hard to
Yeah.
recognize that, you know, it's easy to look at X, Y, and Z and put blame on that, but
Yeah.
it's a lot more difficult to look within and be like, oh, you know, I might be the reason that all this shit's not working out, or I might be the reason that these people are being pushed away or don't want anything to do with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's easier to just blame and to like project than it is to actually take accountability and do something about it. But this is the beautiful thing, you know, we can change. People can change. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit about people don't change. People can and will change, and they have, and they can do it, you know. Just having a conversation like this right now where we can talk about it and be aware that we have fucked up for this long and hey, we need to move together to get over here. That alone is like
Yep.
pretty powerful, you know?
Yep. Said it perfectly, bro. Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways, in my opinion, is accountability. Most folks don't want to grasp that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. and it's easy to recognize because I struggle with it. I struggle with it. I struggle
Yeah.
with it all
Yeah.
the time, you know, like I really feel like I am my biggest hater, my biggest enemy is my own self. Like I'm
Yeah.
you know, like but like I'm not ever, or at least I try not to. I'm not gonna like, yo, it's not these people's fault that, you know,
Yeah.
or this that it's that it's like, dude, yeah, I can be unkind to myself, you know, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like everyone deep down has that ability. Like I do wholeheartedly believe that we all have the capability of being conscious and understanding and being aware and then being able to change that, you know, but that's tying it back to what how we started this, you know, is like it takes hard work. It takes work and sometimes that's just too much, you know.
It does. Yeah, it's much easier to go back with the program.
Yeah, dude, like I had such an insightful conversation with a good friend of mine at work, you know, and the other day and I was just thinking like we just got so into it. We got all the way down to the core of it and I'm like, you know, the funniest thing is it's like we damn near figured it out, but we're gonna fucking clock back in tomorrow and be right back at this bullshit, man. Ah, oh
Yeah, dude.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
The man's got a grip on us, dude. The man has got a grip on us.
Yeah, bro, for real. I agree. Even yeah, the program that's set for us humans, us as a civilized species, especially with the lockdown, I feel like that was like a new server for us. I
Oh,
feel like even though it's a very dark program that they have for us, whoever created that is freaking genius, bro. They're evil, but it's genius.
oh yeah. It's like, I mean, how can we get people to stay separated? You know,
Yeah.
that's just
Yep.
like, you know, I'm not trying to get too like political or anything right now. That's not my goal here, but like I do think about these things and I do think there are powers that are, you know, beyond what we can see, you know, beyond the surface. Like the surface is just like, you know, your
Yep.
newscasting, you know, your Donald Trump and your
Hmm.
Joe Biden or what the fuck ever whoever they are, but there's people up there like, you know, puppeteering them and they're just like little faces and they make them do funny dances and say mean shit and funny shit and then yeah,
Uh,
and then we all get riled up and we start fighting each other and then yeah, and then we just stay like this and we never come together because that's shit, they're afraid of that, man. That would be something.
yeah, 100%. I do agree. Like there is people obviously controlling them, and they just feed off fear and stir up division. It's kind of like Monsters Incorporated, the Disney movie, where it's like they get their energy from screams and being fearful. But at the end of the movie, they find out that laughter works just as much, you know, that joy. And it's like, regardless of what religion or science can activate a new kind of thought process, put that to the side. Like, just imagine what unity could achieve in this planet.
Yeah, dude, we could, I mean, they say that, you know, the pyramids were built by aliens, but it was probably just some really hard working motherfuckers that came together and said, let's do this shit, man. Like, we could
Yo,
probably do something greater than that, you know, if we
yeah,
really set our
yeah,
differences aside, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't think that's like, I really don't think it's impossible. I don't think it is impossible, but it does take difficult conversations, you know,
hmm,
and it takes time, you know. But I do have hope in the world. I know it might seem so far like I have such a negative viewing of life and of people and everything, but I don't. I think there's so much beauty in the world, and I think, you know, we all have love within us, and
yeah.
yeah. Now I just sound like a damn hippie, dude.
Nah,
whatever.
bro. No, that's actually beautiful because, like you said, you don't want to get political with this, and I understand that. We won't get into that, but it's like I do believe we all have love. I believe that as well. Like I've seen enough of it from, visiting different cities around my state or going across different countries or even talking to the clerk down the street or whatever. I do know that we could create unity and it's not impossible, but that's not the problem. The issue is the hierarchy. Those empowered have a weird dark agenda and they're the ones that make sure it doesn't happen. So that's why I feel like yeah, 100%. There's a lot of opportunities of growth in us as a human species coming together. It's just this weird hierarchy that just doesn't want that.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't think, we probably might not ever be able to overthrow that because I mean, look at the world we live in. It's all built on that. Like it's at
Yeah,
least society
yeah,
wise, it's all built
yeah,
that way. It's never gonna be, they got us, dude. Like they got their fucking hold on us, and
yeah,
yeah, dude, I could sit here and bitch and moan and say all these things, but I mean, I got to pay my fucking rent, so I got to get
yeah.
up tomorrow and go to work and be the little cog in the machine, dog. Like they got
Yeah.
me, they got me.
I see it. I see it all the time, like on TikTok, where they're like, "Oh, new footage of an alien or new footage of a UFO," and it's like breaking news on that these news outlets put out there. But everyone in the comments is like, "Okay, but I still gotta go to work tomorrow. I still gotta pay my bills." It's like nothing's gonna shock us anymore because we're like so built on this sheep mentality.
Yeah,
It's messed up.
we're desensitized as shit, dude.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah,
we are so desensitized to like you know, all of this shit because we've seen so much and there's so much of it with social media and stuff like that. It's just everywhere you turn and everywhere you look, there's some negative shit happening. And that's also anyone wants to talk about. No one wants to talk about how, I don't know, anything good because that's not juicy and interesting enough. People are going to tune into the negativity in the world because they feel it inside themselves, and it might be like some kind of like shit, I don't know. There's probably some deeper thing about it, but yeah, it's fucking it's everywhere, dude. It's just like there's so much happening all the time, and it's but with the internet and things like that, it's just like shit, dude. I mean, fuck. You turn on the TV tomorrow and you see a school shooting, and then the next day it's like, oh, there's drones and there's aliens and all this shit, or just, or the president had said something completely offensive and he offended all these people and yada yada yada. And it's always like that, And you don't even got to turn on the TV now. You can just get on your phone and you can fucking see all of it as well. And you can see it
yup,
be misconstrued, and you can see it like take all these other demonic forms that it wasn't even originally like. It was already bad to begin with, and then it takes all these other forms just to keep you all wrapped up in that shit, so you never actually step back away and do the work that you need to do because you're focused on all this extra bullshit.
you said it perfectly, bro. That is on point.
Shit, dude. I don't mean to preach,
Yeah.
but damn.
Yeah, it's like the ops are distracting us and put a halt to our mission.
Yeah, like self discovery, self growth, like coming together,
Yeah.
loving, and being one with each other. Like, I feel like that's all of humanity if you think about it, dude. We're just like we're separated by these bodies and this shit, and we're in these physical vessels, but we're like dying to just get out of it and just be back as
Hmm.
one thing.
Wow.
All right, yeah, that might be too much. We might have to tone it down a little
um, no, man, that was dope. That was so dope of you, bro, to say that. You said with I want to get to the album in a second. See through, right?
Yes, sir.
See through, and you said that took about 8 to 9 months to produce to create.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so before we hop into that, 2025, we're 2 months in, got a few days left before we hit March. How has the year been treating you?
It's been it's been good. It's been yeah, it's been I can't complain so far. You know, it's been well. I've just been kind of chilling. You know, I haven't really been making a whole lot of music. I've also been trying to figure out ways of like, how can I like try and promote, this music in different ways and rather the ways that I have been promoting it. Um, just because like in the past, I'll put things out and I'll share it a few times and then just like move on to the next. And I'm like, dude, fuck that. Why do I have to feel that way? Why do I have to feel like it's just on to the next thing? Like I mean, I know that's kind of the world that we live in. Like it's just like expected of us to just fucking pump shit out and just like, okay,
Mm,
no, yeah,
mm,
you got your little likes and your little things, and now it's time for the next thing. It's the next thing. Let's go, keep going, keep it going. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. We can't slow down. We can't slow down. So a part of me wants to just rebel against that, say fuck it. But then
for
there's a part of
real.
me that I still want people to be able to hear my stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like, what I'm trying to say is like, I'm trying to figure out ways that I could go about it, to just promote my stuff, but also not do it in a way that's like super like, oh, like in your face all the time, or just like be annoying about it. I don't know. I don't fucking know how to promote, dude. I just fucking make music. I don't fucking know how to do this shit. I'm just like, but yeah, I gotta try something. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I've been at.
I like how you kept it a full buck on that. It's true. I've been locked in with Uphill Radio for about a solid 4 years, and I
Dude, yeah,
say
and
it so many,
congrats. That's big,
bro.
man. That's big, man.
Thank you, thank
Yes,
you. I
sir.
appreciate it. I do
That's
appreciate
big.
that. It means a lot. Uh, those words don't go unnoticed, by the way, man. I keep that here. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
But one thing that I say countless amount of times to different artists and to the community, it's like I don't like how you just jump to the next record or the next project because you have something here. It's so special, but you just like you let it go back to the room, the back of the room, and there's no more spotlight on it, and it's on to the next thing. And it's like I know you're, and I'm speaking vaguely. I know y'all are talented, so talented, and you guys are gonna keep doing incredible things. But it's like you guys do create these gems, but you don't put enough time and effort into it. And a lot of people will agree with what you just said. Is like you don't know how to promote the craft. You just make the art,
Yes,
and
sir.
I totally understand and I get it. But it's like, man, you guys have so many gems that need more notice, that need more eyes on the prize because it's so fantastic. So I mean, what you
Yeah.
said is holds truth, bro.
Yeah, and it's hard too because it's like what the fuck do I need to be focused on? Do I need to be like laser focused on the material or how it's getting out there to people? Like if I had like a team of people, and it wasn't just me by myself, that would be awesome. That would be exceptional even. That would be a lot better. It would take, I could if I had someone else to do that for me. But like
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it, man. It's because it's like I don't know. Like a part of me, it's like a part of me is like I want to like exude that confidence with my material. Like I put it out, and it's like here it is, like it or
Hmm.
don't. Boom,
Yeah.
that's it. And then like go back to the lab and create some more shit, which is typically what I do. But it's like, dude, no, like I
Hmm.
know that's the classy thing to do, but like I want to fucking like, dude, this shit, I really believe in this shit. Like you should fucking rock with it or don't. But like at least give it a
Hmm.
try to know if you would or not. But like that's another thing too is like you just those those factors are just all so external. You don't have any control over it. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a battle, dude. It's just like why put like the energy into those types of things like promotion and stuff like that because it's really at the end of the day is like I mean if I gotta fucking beg you to like fucking listen to my shit, like fuck
Yeah.
that. Like
Shit.
fuck I'd just rather be unnoticed than damn, like I'd rather just like you not listen to it, because it's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
My favorite artists weren't begging me to like listen to my
yeah.
shit. I don't know. Maybe I have a skewed view of it. Maybe I don't exactly have the best perspective on that. But like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's just like, what am I supposed to focus on the art? Because that's what
Hmm.
I am focused on. Like, I make the shit, and it's just like,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
not even thinking about. I during the creation of this, or all my records, I'm only thinking about me.
Hmm.
I'm only thinking about uh, the the song. I'm only or the songs. I'm not thinking about oh fuck, like how many plays is this shit gonna get, or like how many like because that's just like I can't. I don't have any control of that.
I think begging, right, is not good. I agree there. Like, I'd rather not be heard than beg. It's like, where's
Yeah,
your self respect or your dignity? But what
yeah,
I do believe is putting in the footwork, connecting. Yeah, have to connect. And third, kind of goes with connecting, is even exchange of trade. You trade somehow, whether it's you give me this product and I give you this product, or whatever it is, vice versa. I know that I have a good friend of mine. His name is Mike Hass. I think he recently changed his company name. He used to go by Mike Media Inc., but I think he recently changed. And I've known him as for the last 4 years. I think I got to know him from the beginning of creating Upper Radio, and he's a dope dude. Gone through a lot, but he's such a badass, and he does interviews as well, but he's been very tapped into making his short films, and he does a great job. He's gonna be. I'm telling you, man, he's gonna do some great things. I believe in you, stranger. I know you're gonna do some great things. I really believe in certain people in my life, and I could tell you right now that this guy is gonna do awesome and whatever he is creating. But what I'll do is I'll reach out to him and tell him about you. I truly believe your music it's like a soundtrack. I brought that up earlier. Like, your music just reminds me of soundtracks. It just does more so than just being an audio. It transcends. So I'll reach out to him to consider putting one of your records on one of his movies, and then hopefully you guys can have a conversation. But with that being said, man, find ways. Uh, I know you're a busy man. You said you had your 9 to 5 and you create your art, but I would recommend find ways, find blogs or Reddit posts on people who are independent filmmakers and tell them, look, this is my music. Maybe we could work out some way where you guys can do that exchange, because that's where I honestly feel like you can have a lot of success right there.
dude, yeah, and fuck, yeah, I appreciate that. That's solid too. Like, yeah, yeah, I do, and I should try to invest some more time into collaborating with some visual artists because I think I can only do so much, but like someone else maybe could have a vision that I could just never even think of or conceive on my own and could really bring some magic out of that. So thank you. Yeah, yeah. I definitely can try that. And I have kind of thought of I don't know how to go about it exactly, but there is a way. It's like I forget the term. It's like sync licensing or something like that. Sync
Mm-hmm.
licensing license.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like it's basically getting or giving rights for like you know film producers and stuff to potentially hear your music and use it in like film and stuff like that. Um, like one of my favorite artists. I'm not sure if you're familiar. He's kind of been getting a lot of recognition lately. McGee, um, this artist, he just put out a fantastic record last year that I. It's called Two Star and the Dream Police. I cannot fucking recommend something more to anyone because that shit is just it's such a pleasure to listen to. And, but anyways, um, so from my research, and I could be wrong, but I think I believe his music was found in a way from that. He had a song that was on a Netflix original series or something like
Whoa.
that. But like, yeah, he has the licensing to for his music to be used rightfully and used in like TV shows and film. So uh, his music was just heard by like a large, like a lot of people, and so that's it, he kind of got some traffic from that, just from being I don't know if it was in the end credits or what, like when it was in those TV. I don't even know if it was a TV or a movie, but I just saw something about it or heard something about it, and I'm like, damn, that would be kind of like really cool if I could figure out a way to um, get my music in front of people that are, making TV shows and movies. I also don't know how the fuck I would do that. But yeah, Reddit, like you said, is probably a good place to start. Like start small, not
Hmm.
try to jump jump the gun or anything, or try to get to the big leagues or anything too quick. But yeah, yeah, I think that's sound advice, and that's something I definitely see myself trying out.
That's dope that you already kind of had that thought process. And maybe you just needed to hear me say that, give you that little push to keep going, to do it. Because I truly
Yes,
believe
sir.
you could do some great things there, bro. Even there's so many blogs out there you could tap into. We could even tap into the old fashioned app Tumblr. I feel like there's certain kind of art forms on Tumblr that people don't really go back to because it's like so low key now
Right.
compared to where it was before. Being Tumblr used to be big back in the day. That's how ASAP
Dude,
Rocky and
yeah.
ASAP Mal got big.
Yeah, yeah. I'm aware too. And I think I've seen little tidbits of it having a resurgence, essentially. Not
Hmm.
entirely too sure on that. Right now, I'm just kind of like, I just have Instagram. Um,
Yeah.
it would probably benefit me to have more, but I mean, fuck, dude, I hate that shit. I hate it. I fucking hate it. It just, yeah, it just gets, I,
Yeah.
yeah, you know how it goes. I'm sure you've probably felt similarly to
Oh yeah.
Instagram and
It's like
social medias and stuff like that.
it's like how some people have insomnia. It's like, do you really, or are you just a night person? Like some people are just made to be up during the night compared to waking up bright and early. Like we all have our position in this existence, and so it's like we're good at some things and we're terrible at others. You just got to know what you're good at and travel down that path. And that path will lead you to way more success than over here. Like one of my love languages is cooking up dinner. I love to cook for my friends, for family, whoever, strangers, all that. But if I work in the food industry, a restaurant or a fast food joint, I'm gonna go bananas. It's like, get me out of here. It just
Yeah,
sucks. I don't like that environment. I'm good. I'm a hard worker, get good tips, all of that, but it's like that is not my position. So you just gotta know what you like and what you don't like and be cool with it.
dude, yeah. Fuck, that's real as shit, man. Hell yes. That couldn't have been said any better, dude. Yeah,
Hone in. You gotta hone in, baby. Hone in. But stranger, let's talk about see through. Give
yeah.
us the behind the scenes. Tell us about the process, where your mind was at. Go for it.
Um, yeah. I just like I kind of was saying earlier. I've always wanted to like I always wanted to create something where it like paid homage to the music that I grew up listening to, like Nirvana. I was listening to Nirvana. I was listening to Soundgarden, a lot of like grunge bands, Stain, Three Days Grace, Linkin Park. But what else? Shit, Alice in Chains. You
Hmm.
know, and then in more recent years, I've gotten super into Radiohead. They probably are my favorite band of all time. And that's saying a lot. Deftones. There's just like there. I mean, shit. There's a million bands, and that's really what I've always wanted. Before I even got into like producing music at 16, when I was 15, I got my first guitar, and I wanted to
Hmm.
start a band. That was something I always wanted to do was be in a band. But that just has never happened. Just, I mean, it just hasn't happened. And also too, maybe, I don't know. I just was never around the people that were like playing instruments like that. It's just, I guess my generation, kind of lost a little bit of touch with live instruments and stuff like that because of all the music that's coming out, during my youth was like SoundCloud shit and rap shit. So it's like all my friends, that's what we were listening to, that's what we're into, and that's what they wanted to do at the time, make beats, rap and shit like that, and less about guitars and stuff. But yeah, so with this record, I wanted to, and finally, I feel like right now I had the courage to do it because I've always wanted to make this type of music, and I kind of have, I've this is not my first time ever like playing around with like live drum sounds and just like a band sound. But this is my first time fully realizing it into a whole record, like into a whole piece of music. And yeah, I even at one point was like, no, I don't want to do that fully. Like, I want to have still like have some beats on some of the songs and just have some with the live bells. Like, no, fuck that. If I'm gonna do this, I gotta try to do it justice. And so yeah, I was listening to a lot of Radiohead. Uh, McGee, as before that I mentioned, was a big inspiration. Frank Ocean is a big inspiration for that record. Um, Shit, I could probably list a million more, but yeah, I was listening to um, a lot of just rock records, just like The Bends by Radiohead, OK Computer, those two records, fucking just those two alone. I'm like, damn, like just really like analyzing it and like, why is this so great to me, and then that's tying it back to earlier. It's like, oh, song structures, that's not anything I ever fucking gave a thought of. And I'm like, what would happen if I sat down and I like actually tried to write, like an intro and then a verse and then a chorus and then, so this is kind of a theme that you can see like persist throughout the record. I feel like is there's a lot of songs that have very similar structure, and but yeah, it's like my first time playing around with it. And of course, at the very end of it, I kind of like uh, kicked my own self in the ass because like by the time I was like done and just pooped from like how much I like was doing and creating, I'm like, okay, well, fuck, like I can only push out like so much more steam, and then I just got to wrap it up, fine tune it, and just get it out. Um, I noticed that, yeah, like a lot of them had the same structure. I mean, they don't sound exactly the same, but damn near. Like, some of the songs were like verse, chorus. Now I'm just being critical of myself, but yeah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with this record, I really wanted to. I just really wanted to try to embody that like band sound, just like make it sound like it's me and other guys, and it's not just me. And because that's like, you know, hopefully one day I will have people to fill those roles and I can perform these songs live. That would be so sick, and also too, I had been performing here locally in California where I'm at, and just like starting out, just like doing shows where I'm like singing on the backing track and shit, but it
Mm-hmm.
gets too easy at some point, and you're like, okay, well, now how do I up that? I'm always looking for a way to like, okay, well, I climbed it up here and I'm here now, so like, how do I go higher, or how do I push and do something more difficult, because that's how I get a kick out of existing, I guess, is doing more difficult shit. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
start performing with guitars. I'm playing guitar and singing and stuff, and that is very fucking scary because it's you don't have anything that when you fuck up and
Yeah.
everyone hears it. So it's like I've only done that, so many times, but it's something that I want to get more into because I mean that's my heroes. My heroes do that, My heroes know every fucking word to their song, get up there, play that shit like they mean that shit, and then they get off the
Yeah.
stage and like so that's what I want to that's what I aim to do. I want to be I want to try to be as great as I can be. I want to be like the greats. So I study them and I try to implement them. And yeah, so that's this record is me just wanting to make some dope rock shit that's, not too different from my old shit. It's still me, but it's just a live sound, a band sound, if you will.
Hmm. Hmm. The record, yeah, man, it was beyond great. It was cohesive, conceptual, and it's a good point that you brought up. You're the first to ever bring it up. It's like to have to sing your song word for word and be playing the guitar at the same time. Like that is a lot of pressure. That is, yeah, you're
It's
multitasking.
Yeah, and it is hard, and it's like I definitely want to be able to perform more. It's like it's a whole other world that I haven't really explored. All I've made all these songs, and up until maybe just the last couple of albums that I put out, I never even thought about like performing those songs. Which is
Damn.
the craziest part. So a lot of the old material I have, dude, I don't even. I mean, those guitar riffs and stuff. I could not tell you how I played it. I could not tell you what I was doing to play it because it was just in the moment all the time, and I didn't like. So that's another way that this record is different. Is I learned these songs on guitar and I didn't forget them. So I know these songs and I spent a lot of time with them, and it gave me a different appreciation for it as well. Um, just because I put more work into it. I just put more work, and these ideas also came to me rather than just me like going out and grabbing it. I had to just
Mm.
fuck around. I just would sit down with my guitar and I would play around, and then I would land on some chords, and I was like, oh shit, and then okay, boom, 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 okay, chord change. This is important, chord change, yada yada. And then I would just record that and hum words over it, come up with the melodies, and then yeah, I would write in words with the sounds that I made with my mouth, like if I was humming, or I'll do
Hmm.
that too. I'll play and I'll just record myself on like my iPhone or something, like in the voice memos, like really rough, just playing the guitar and singing, and I'll just hum words, or I'll just like say words. It doesn't even have to mean anything or whatever. I just need to get the sensibility and and whatnot, and then yeah, I'll throw it together, and then when I'm actually going to edit it, and try to make it sound a little less shitty, then I'll like add words. I'll fill the words in, like, oh, well, this is where my heart has been, and this is what I want to write about. But it's not always that way either. Sometimes, dude, the words mean fucking whatever they meant. I don't even know. Like lyrics are not my strong suit. I'll just say that.
I think I think his full name is Kevin Parker. I'm not sure. Kevin from Tame
Oh,
Impala.
Tame Impala, yes sir, yes.
Bro, he does the same thing. He's a one man band and he just hires the people he trusts to do the concerts, to do the live shows with him. That's
And
you.
he's Yeah, dude, and he's phenomenal, dude. Like Kevin Parker's the goat, man. Just hella inspirational.
Bro, Tame Impala, man. Nobody's like them like him. Tame Impala is just so incredible for sure. One of my favorites. But you can definitely take that route because I feel how you said you wanted a band. Being in a band is a completely different vibe.
dude, is
compared
it,
to doing
bro?
it solo dolo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's, I mean, because you have to consider other personalities, and you have to consider like your idea, literally just, and that's another thing with ideas is when you're solo and you come up with ideas. I mean, shit, that's your baby, dude. It's your
Yeah, that's
baby.
your
You want to
baby.
protect it, you know, but you could
Yeah.
present your baby to other people and they're like, it's fucking ugly.
Hmm.
And you're like, oh shit. Well, let me hide my baby because you don't even like it. And then they'll have their own babies, and you
Yeah.
got to like, not be so mean. You'd be like, oh well, your baby, he could use like, he's a little rough around the edges. Maybe we could, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
one of those things. It's like it
Hmm.
takes a lot of work. And but yeah, I'm aware of those things. I just never was around people like playing instruments until kind of recently, because my roommate, he drums, and
Mm.
he fucks around on the guitar a little bit too. um and yeah, so we've been jamming, and actually that's something I completely forgot about. At least four or five of those songs on this record came from jams that me and my brother had. Um, so
Yo.
those ideas probably wouldn't have been born
Hmm.
if I wasn't playing with him. And
Yeah.
so in a sense, he is kind of part of it in that way.
Hmm. Wow, that's incredible. That's so cool.
Yeah, dude, he's incredible, man. I don't know if you are familiar, emo thug, little emo thug.
No, little emo thug. Is that no?
Yeah, dude, definitely give him, definitely check him out. That's my brother, man, and I'm indebted to him in a lot of ways. He's very inspirational, and I live with him as well. He's in my house.
Man, shout out little emo thug. I'll check him out.
Yes, sir.
And then you said the other thing you told us to check out is McGee, 2 Star or something.
Yes, McGee, two star in the Dream Police. Yes, that's
Oh,
a
Dream Police.
that's a that's a great record, man. That's just a fantastic record to listen to. It's a pleasure.
I think whether you're in a band or not, you're gonna do some great stuff. But I definitely see you taking like the Tame Impala approach.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, probably will never be as great as Kevin Parker, but I could definitely give it my best shot, man. And that's what I'll do. That's
Yeah.
all I have to do. So I mean, yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm definitely. I think I'm going to explore more with um, that band sound. Um, I haven't, like I was saying earlier, like the last 2 months of this year since I put out this record, I've literally just been obsessed as fuck with everything about this music. That's just how I
Hmm.
always get when I'm working on a project. My mind is literally just there, and I'm always thinking about everything. And I've listened to this record probably 5,000 times by now, just like little like
Hmm.
tweaking thing, like the sonics of it, how the drums sound, the snare, or the guitar tone, or my vocals, whatever. Just, but now that that ship has sailed, uh, which this is always like this. I kind of just take time to sit back and listen to music and watch movies and just draw it in, man. Just draw
Hmm.
it in a little bit. Just step back, and just kind of like live a little, because that's also important. I think as an artist, you got to have
Yes,
experience to make shit.
you got it, bro. Yeah, unless you have a great and vivid imagination.
Yeah.
I like the way you paint the picture, man. It's incredible.
Hey,
With
thanks, brother.
you got it, man. With See Through, I know you just recently dropped it, but how's it being received so far?
I think it's been really well. My close friends have reached out and made me blush and kick my feet, man, because that's just like they just say I'm surrounded by a lot of kindness and a lot of love, and I might not be the most successful musician, but damn, dude, I my friends and my peers can make me really feel that way, like I've done something, and just done the art justice, because that's all. At the end of the day, I
Yeah.
think that's what we all want to do. We all just want to like just do this justice, like you can make music and you can just make it and have fun, but like, I just want to make I just want to try to make great stuff. So yeah, yeah, I think it's been overall great. It's been really good. And but yeah, like I've been saying, I've been trying to figure out ways to promote it, and I might not, and I might just quietly move on to the next thing and start creating that, because I'm already thinking of shit now. So we'll see. I don't know yet.
Yeah, the pros and cons of being an artist, huh? It's like you keep on going to the next beautiful thing that you have set.
Yeah, dude, because it's like you put it out, and then it's just
Yeah.
it's living its own life now. It's its own thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like your baby's gone off to college and you have no control of it.
exactly, bro. It's like I spent these 9 months just like hanging out with these kids, and then like,
Yeah.
I dressed them up and I got them all nice, and I'm like, you look great. Send them out the door, and now
Yeah.
the world can think what they think of my kids. But I raised
Yeah.
them good. I raised them well, and
Mm.
now it's time to go have some more children or something.
Time to be fruitful, man. That's a great
Time to be
analogy right there.
fruitful. Time to be fruitful, man. Keep spreading it. Keep spreading the love.
That part, bro. Um, Getting towards the end here of this beautiful interview, we're gonna take it to a lighthearted part of it, the fun
So,
segment. Let the audience get to know you a little bit more on the funny, personal side of things.
yeah,
You did bring up inspirations on music. You named some great artists, some great bands.
yes,
But
sir.
if you do have a list, can you give us your top three favorite films, or if you don't have any, maybe top three favorite TV shows?
Okay, top three favorite films. Okay, this will definitely change depending on when I watch more movies. But right now, let's say one of my favorite of all time is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. That movie is incredible. I forget the director's name, but fuck, it's so good, man. It's just such a beautiful presentation of love, and it's just innocent, and it's a beautiful, beautiful film. You will cry unless you have
Mhm.
no heart. And then Paris, Texas is definitely a great film that I watched recently, and I've watched twice now. And let me think of something else. Uh, mm, fuck, dude, it's so hard to just say three, bro. Like, oh, you should have said
Yeah,
five, because like I could fuck. Okay, well, I'm a huge
we can
like
do.
horror. I'm a huge horror movie fan. Okay, so I'm gonna do four. I'm gonna do
Okay.
four favorite movies, and I'm gonna say Hereditary and Midsummer. Those two horror movies are top fucking tier. They will. I love those movies. If you haven't seen them yourself, dude, I would. And you're a fan of horror movies.
Yeah.
I think Ari Schaefer is the director of those movies. Uh, he
Really?
knows. Yeah, he knows how to create a film. He knows how to present pictures visually to make you feel like you're gonna crawl out of your own skin, dude. Just absolutely incredible films. They will scare the fuck out of you and make you feel like you're dying inside, and it's great.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Those are. I didn't. You said Paris and Texas.
Yeah, the film is Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas.
Yes,
That's
Paris,
that.
Texas.
That's the one I haven't seen. The other movies you mentioned, I did watch. They're all. Those are great films. But Paris, Texas, I'm gonna have to check that one out.
I think I don't remember the director. I want to say the movie came out in the 80s. I think it came
Okay.
out in the 80s. But it's Harry Dean Stanton is the lead role for that film. I believe I got his name right. But he does a phenomenal job. It comes into the film and it's like super mysterious. He's just wandering around and there's like almost no dialogue towards the beginning of the film, and it's just
Mm.
the story of it is and the shots that they use. It's just one of those films that that will bring a tear to your eye for sure. It's beautifully. It's just beautiful. It's a good movie.
I know that it's kind of gonna put you in the spot a bit, but what's the last movie you watched that was really good?
That was really good. The last movie that I watched that was really good. Just recently I watched Smile 2. Um,
Oh shit.
yeah, it's the sequel to Smile, the first one. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, Smile 2, it's a great horror movie. It also I went back because I didn't see the first one, so I watched the second one, and then I went back and watched the first one after I seen the second one, and the first one nowhere near as good as the second one. It definitely it just
Wow.
sets you up to at the idea of it, but the second
Right.
one, oh dude, I was tripping, man. That was a good film. It definitely had me like it definitely had me it had my anxiety going, and I was just I couldn't get comfortable. It had me, and there's like some almost like a humor to it as well, which I really found kind of cool or just interesting about that movie, but a little bit gory too. But it was really good. It was really good, and it's just kind of the first thing that just popped into my mind because I didn't want to take 20 minutes to think about it.
That kind of leads us to my next question. It's like there was some weird cases back in the early 60s or 70s where a situation like Smile happened where there was these kids, I think it was high school kids that just kept laughing. They didn't know why they kept laughing, but they were laughing in sync and they couldn't stop. And I forgot how long. It was hours though. They were just laughing. It was a weird case study, but
Mm,
that leads me
that's
to my next
no, I was just gonna
trippy
say,
stuff.
yeah, it's creepy. That's creepy. It's yeah, that's kind of creepy.
So the next question that follows up with that is, do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Favorite conspiracy theory. Shit. I think earlier we fucking went over damn near about every one I had, and that honestly, it's probably not the best thing, but it happened, and you know, so yeah. I mean, but I'll get controversial. I'll say, um, oh, I don't believe in dinosaurs. I don't believe in dinosaurs.
If you don't, I've heard that one before. It's very interesting. I kind of lean towards that as well. I don't really believe it because the reason why I don't believe it is because I grew up watching Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah.
Loved it. That's what kind of made me fall in love with dinosaurs and the whole history behind it. But then over time, scientists would say, well, actually, we were wrong. This is how it actually looked. Okay, we were wrong. They actually had feathers. Okay, we were wrong. They weren't as big. It's like they keep, and that's what science is, right?
Yep.
Science is supposed to keep uh, tapping into it, learning more about it, and see if they can repeat it. And so I think that's what kind of made me go, okay, that what we knew of dinosaurs doesn't exist. I'm sure something like it did exist. That's something weird, but not what we see on like Jurassic Park.
Right. Dude, and speaking of science, another conspiracy that I guess the conspiracy is that we evolved from apes, and I completely don't believe in that. And I had a interesting conversation with a friend of mine about that. Yeah, I don't believe that we evolved from apes. I think human beings are something just different. I don't know if it's I wouldn't say otherworldly, but
Hmm.
possibly. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know. I just don't think we, because I've always thought like, well, if we, evolution as a it takes a long like it's a process that takes thousands and thousands of years, and if we
Hmm.
went from apes evolving to humans, evolution is this way. It's not like we're evolving to humans and so apes, because they still exist. So it's like, why didn't the rest evolve with?
Yeah.
Probably kind of stupid, honestly. That might be a stupid perspective, but because I'm not educated on any of that, and I'm not like super scientific, because science is just like the study of the physical world, and I'm much more
Hmm.
fascinated with the not physical world and the world that's
Yeah.
beyond the surface. But
Yeah.
it is cool how we try to understand the world around us. But that's the gap between science and religion, is there's always
Hmm.
one needs one another, essentially, because it's like there's
Yeah.
you get science gets to a point and it's like, oh well, we were able to explain everything up until this point, but now this is unexplainable, and then that leaves room for religion or spirituality or whatever, and vice versa. It's like there are some things that can be kind of explained, but I don't know. It's like, why can't people just accept that we don't know shit, man? It's just like we don't
Hmm.
know shit, and this all of this is just beyond us. It's unknown why it is the way it is, and why we're here, and now I'm just rambling on, but uh, yeah, could you share a conspiracy that you believe in?
Well, I don't think you're rambling. I think that's great. We're getting into how your mind operates, and I love it. I think people don't realize that because of political reasons and maybe some other ones as well, they separated science and religion. But they were together just a couple hundred years ago. Like they worked together.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Isaac Newton?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect example. If people look into him, you'll see that he had more journals on religion than he did science, and he's the one that told us about gravity.
Hmm.
And so there's a lot of props that we give Isaac Newton on scientific methods and scientific discoveries, but they leave out the religion part. But people often forget the two went hand in hand for so long, for thousands of years. But just as lately, they separated it for whatever reason. So people look
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, there's always been that kind of divide, I think, but yeah, completely you're right on the money. I think Nikola Tesla also has like some very
Hmm.
insightful, like, spiritual quotes.
Yeah.
I can't name any off the top of my head, but like he was definitely more than book smart, you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that and I think that is important. You could be very smart with subject matter and stuff like that, but I mean, those are things that are passed down by other men, and then you learn from those. And you're like reading
Yeah.
books and things, you're reading other men's ideas and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
there comes a time when you have to tap in to you, and you have to tap in to something more and gather ideas from
Hmm.
that, and maybe they're of use.
That's true. It's what if people really listen, they could tune in, man. It gets pretty gnarly. I think just off the back of my head, a conspiracy that does have some weight to it is if you look at our coins here in the United States, we have the penny, the nickel, the dime, the quarter, and if it's uncommon, but there's a 50-cent coin as well. But for the most part, all of our coins are silver, and the presidents are all pointing one direction. But the penny, which is the copper color, with Abraham Lincoln, he's pointed a different direction. And the conspiracy goes,
Mm.
he freed this. He had a lot of love for trying to free the slaves and give them their self respect. And that's why the government made that coin copper and made it where his head is pointed at the different direction.
Ooh, I've never heard
It's a
that one
little.
before.
I
No,
mean,
that's
but you do
interesting.
next time you have some coins, man. Really look at them. Like, huh? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, and that is interesting. Oh, damn. Yeah, dude. I'll have to, yeah,
Yeah, man.
I'll have to
It's
look.
um I have a few more before we wrap it up here. Tomorrow, you find out an asteroid's gonna hit Earth. We only got 24 hours left, bro. What does your last meal look like?
Last meal. Shit, bro. I think I'm gonna go to the butcher himself and get a nice steak, and I'm gonna grill it, and then I'm gonna have some mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna have some green beans, and some macaroni and cheese, and I'm gonna have a beer.
Ooh,
Yep.
damn,
What about you?
damn. Okay, man. First of all, props to you for saying you're going to the butcher. That is fire. I love that. I love that answer, dude. That was great. I mean, it is the end of the world, so beer is beer. But do you have a specific one you go into?
Specific? Shit, dude. I'll probably just Modelo or something. That's like just a
Modelo's.
casual.
Hmm.
Gets the job done. It tastes good. It's light. It sits right on the stomach. Crisp,
Yo,
refreshing.
but yeah, Modelo is probably. I think Modelo and Blue Moon are my favorite beers.
I
Those
haven't had
two.
a I haven't had a Blue Moon in a while. Um, since I moved out here to California, I've been like, Modelo, Corona, Coors a little
Hmm.
bit, Coors Light. Ammon was trying to put me onto the Coors Banquet. I think that's how you say the word.
Coors Banquet.
It could be
Man, shout out
Bankit.
Eamon.
Yeah, dude, that's my real life brother, man. He's
Hmm.
he's a blessing, man. He's great. I love him, man.
Yeah, he is. He's a spirited man for sure.
Oh, dude,
Something about him.
he's got a fucking head on his shoulders, man. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. I always have some really, really insightful talks with him, and we can
Yeah,
just get down to the we can just get down to the core of things and skip all the extra bullshit. And it's been like
yeah,
that, dude, since I when I first met him, dude. We were just
yes, yep,
like, and it's all, shout out to you, man, because that connection probably wouldn't have ever came to fruition if it wasn't for what you're doing, you know?
man. Well, thanks, bro. It's all about putting in that work, and that's what it's for. Like this will is a seed, and this will lead to other things as well.
Absolutely.
Speaking of like Eamon, like he keeps it a full buck, and if if you want lies or if you're too sensitive, then you can't be friends with them. Like he just keeps it a full buck, and I think with what I love about him, man, one time he had for a short amount of time his own live stream interviews just for kicks and giggles, and I was on one of them. This is like 2022, and I'm on his live stream, and we're just talking this shit. And he's like, "What do you think are ways?" Eamon said, "What do you think are some ways to get more eyes on the prize?" And I'm like, "Yo, I think what would be really dope is you find a cool girl, because sex sells. That's just how it is. If there's a girl on screen, more guys will click on it." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you guys can come to an agreement, create some kind of fun agenda when you guys do live streams or do posts. It doesn't even gotta be real. Like it just be scripted." And Eamon goes, "Nah, fuck that." He goes, "Hell nah." He goes, "If it's scripted, if it's an agenda, I ain't with that. It has to be real." He's like, "Nah, Baker, I don't like that idea." I was just laughing my ass off. I'm like, "Eamon, Eamon don't play it, bro. He don't like that shit, dude." He's like, "Nah."
Nah. Yeah, dude. No, yeah, dude. He's fucking, he'll just tell you how it is, bro. He'll tell you how he feels. And he's got no filter about him. But that man, dude, he's fucking inspiring, dude. He's just always working hella hard. He's busting his ass. He works in
Yes.
95 too, but this his output of music is just like so insane to me, man. He actually shared something with me the last time he was here. Um, because we were talking about, perfectionism and stuff like that with art. And he was like, he's like, for me, he's like, if I get 80%, it's good enough. Like, if it isn't, not 70, not 90, not 100, just like 80%. If I can get like 80%, then it's just like,
Mm,
and I'm like, yeah, dude, because it's like you can never, I mean, you want to seek that. You want to seek the best you can possibly do, the best you could possibly be, but that's just unattainable, bro. It's just like that's just not going to happen. So I don't
right.
know. It was just a good like philosophy that he shared that he's had, and yeah, it meant a lot to me, and I've thought a lot about it. He probably I didn't tell him that, so hopefully he
Mm.
watches this and hopefully he sees that.
Yeah, man. Shout out Eamon.
Yeah,
I
dude.
said it so I said it so many times publicly. Like he's literally like one of my favorite rappers in the underground. Just the way he even makes beats incredible too. He makes some incredible beats, but the way he can ride on a beat, fire. And then I love that I covered a little bit of his kickboxing journey. Like that's another thing that he does very well that I champion. He's not with the BS,
Yeah,
So he's
dude.
definitely gonna do some incredible things.
Hard worker, bro. Like through and through. Like that man is a fucking grinder, bro. That man is always, always working, bro. Just like
Yeah.
fucking take a break. He's not gonna
Hmm.
listen to that shit. He's not gonna rest. That dude is just, dude. Like when I spent the night with him, when I was driving up to Kentucky where he lived at in his apartment. I mean, shit, we would crash out like 11, 12 at night, and bro would be waking up damn 6 in the morning, fucking going to the gym. I'm like sleeping on the couch, and he's like open up the door. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, go to the gym. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like this early?
Yeah.
Like shit. Like I gotta get
Yeah.
my shit together. Yeah, he's a man. He's a fucking man, dude. He's a man.
Yeah. Shout out Eamon. You know what would be great?
Yes.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. Like maybe in the summertime or in the fall, early fall, get us three on an interview. It'd be great to have us three just having some good conversations, share some
Yeah.
stories,
Just
and
kick it.
maybe
That'd be
learn
fun.
the like we're hanging out at a campfire type vibe.
Yeah, dude. That would be sick. I'm game.
Um, so two more things. One is there anything that we didn't discuss that you would like to talk about?
Um, no, I don't, I don't think so. I think shit. Yeah, we talked about music. I talked a little bit about other shit, and yeah, it's just fun. It's just been fun overall. Like, and I really appreciate you having me on here, man, and just like the environment you set up. It feels so like comfy. I don't know how else to put it. I just feel really comfortable to be myself and to share these things with you, and I super appreciate that. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I think that's what is most important is making sure that the guest feels comfortable in their skin and just telling the story that they want to tell.
Yeah, man.
And eventually, man, I'm going to continue to progress and things will get better. Like I would love soon, like where I'm able to have my own like warehouse, and where I can do like real live sessions, fly out the artists. You're like, yo, stranger, I finally got the funds to fly you out here. Let's do something. Like we'll eventually get to that place. We just gotta keep on putting in the footwork, keep on putting that
Yes.
grind, and doing
Yeah,
some
man.
good connections there. But what we would like to hear before we come to a closure here is give us that story, bro, on the thumb situation.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. So like, yeah. So I was. I mean, what's today? Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know when this shit's gonna be out, but like 4 or 5 days ago, Saturday, I went to the beach with my friends, and we were there for like 15 minutes maybe, and Yeah, I was climbing some rocks on the beach, and I climbed one, and it was fun, and it was a little sketch, but you know, I'm not just I'm not that smart. So I came down, kind of big headed, and I'm climbing the second one, thinking I'm all that, and my friend's like, "Yo, be careful, be careful." I'm like, man, he said that, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, watch this, watch this. I'm climbing up. I'm like, look, all you gotta do is you just put your hands up, and I'm like on the rock face, like 20 feet off the ground. So I'm like, just put your hand up. You gotta check where you're going. You gotta before you like lift yourself up to climb up, right? So I put my hand, pull out, a rock. I throw it down. He's like, dude, fucking be careful, damn it. And I'm like, yeah, 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 whatever. So I put my hand up here, dude. Fucking stone comes off of the face, like the rock face. It just comes down. It like splits. I mean, it's probably like 4 or 5 feet across. Weighed probably like 60, 70, 80 pounds, something like that. It was heavy as shit. Came down. I don't know how the fuck I did. It didn't push me over. I literally do not know how. I just kind of like just stuck to the rock, and it like pushed me. Then it like came off the side. It rolled down the rock, goes into the water, and me and my friends are like, "Oh my fuck!" We're like laughing and shit. And then I looked down, and my fucking fingers just gushing blood, dude, and it was gnarled. Like basically, it was like it took like from here and just went like all the way up to the side, and it was just like the meat. I mean, dude, it was like the bone wasn't showing or anything, and I didn't break it, and I didn't hit any arteries or any like serious veins or anything. So, yeah, dude, for real, I could have easily got pushed by that rock, fell 20 feet, hit my head. It could have been so much worse, man. But I'm glad my friends were there, and I'm glad it wasn't that bad. We were in the middle of nowhere though, so we had to like we don't had no cell service or anything, so we had to rush to the nearest ER, and that was 45 minutes away. And
Yo,
yeah, I had to get 7 stitches, but here we are. And I went to the gym yesterday.
there we go, baby. There we
Get at me,
go.
get at me, man. Shit.
There, yeah, bro. That's a crazy story. That is nuts. Have you ever like hurt yourself like that before?
Nah, I've never like cut myself this bad, but I have like uh I used to skateboard a lot when I was younger, so I had some
Mm.
pretty like serious injuries from that. Like I got a hairline fracture one time, and my
Oof.
right arm, falling trying to do like a grind on a rail, like a frontside 50/50. I fell down, dinked my face on the ground, and I like landed weird as shit on the rail, and yeah, that was fun. But no, I've never had like a really deep cut. I've never had stitches, so there's a first time for everything. And I've been stressing about the fucking insurance because I don't have any, so we gotta figure that out. But yeah, we'll leave that out of this.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I know that that adrenaline rush does kick in, um, but like, take us through. Like when you were looking at your finger, were you freaking out or were you staying calm?
I was tweaking, bro. I was tweaking. I was like, I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was like, I kept cool because I didn't have any other choice. But like, I'm thinking in my head, fuck, am I gonna like bleed out? Or I'm thinking of this
Yeah.
stupid shit, honestly. But I like took off my shirt and I wrapped my finger, and then yeah, we had to do all this like strenuous exercise to get back up to the car. So I'm like, we like had to hike up like all the way up the beach, and like just to get back to the
Yeah.
car. So my heart's just like beating hella hard, and it's just like making my blood pump even more. I'm like, fuck, but but yeah, it like it actually though, by the time I got to the hospital and I took off my shirt, it had stopped bleeding. Like my wound
Wow.
wasn't bleeding. I mean, it looked like shit. It looked disgusting,
Yeah.
but yeah. But since then, it's
What? Up?
been it's been healing up nicely, man.
That's good news right there. But what about the stitching? Did you get through it? Like, how was that process?
Oh, they numbed my shit, dude. They gave me
Oh, good.
Novocaine. They put a
Yeah.
shot of Novocaine and like two, like she put it like here, and then on the other side as well. And then yeah, it just went numb. They cleaned it, and then the doctor came back and put the stitches in, and shit was shit was cake.
Man, good news that you're getting better. Your finger's getting better, but or your thumb. But it's just so gnarly how fragile we are actually are.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing how fragile we are, and it's also amazing and wonderful how crazy our bodies are and how fast they fucking heal when we do get fucked
Hmm.
up. Because the first
For
day,
real.
man, the first
Yeah.
day I was like, dude, it was just throbbing, throbbing, dude. I didn't think I would get any rest that night. It was throbbing so bad, you know. Second day, I mean, I had to go to work like a day after, so it was like
Um,
I'm not. I can't. I couldn't afford to miss work, and to figure out a way to push through.
yeah.
But yeah, it's it's been good though. It's been getting better, and yeah, that's. I'm just glad it wasn't worse, man. Could have been a lot worse.
That part. That part.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
that's watching, definitely listen to these stories and understand that life is so fragile. So be careful, but get out there, do what you got to do your thing to achieve that happiness, and most importantly, enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. When it
Yes,
comes to
sir.
Stranger, I appreciate your artistry. I appreciate you taking the time for this. Everybody go listen to his latest drop. Follow him. Give a likes, give comments, follow his craft, follow his artistry. He's going to do some incredible things in this existence. And I know that our lives are so complex that we can do another podcast, another interview whenever you want to. I know there's plenty for us to talk about, plenty of
Yeah,
stories, so many great things that can still be said and whatnot. But Stranger, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
dude, Baker, thank you for having me on this and just giving me the opportunity to say what's on my mind and speak about my art. I just I'm super grateful, man, and I'm just yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fucking good time.
A great time. So thank you so much, you guys. This is Stranger. Brand new interview. I'm Baker. This was Up Here Radio. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.